5 minutes past 6. Let's turn our attention to football. Manchester City came out on top in a 9-goal thriller against Fulham last night. Only just though, they were 5-1 up. Fulham fought back. 3 second-half goals set up a really tense last few minutes. Erling Haaland scored his 100th Premier League goal in that one. Also hit the post twice. Elsewhere, dramatic 2-2 draw between Tottenham and Newcastle. Newcastle got an 86th minute penalty after VAR intervened. Spurs then equalised deep into injury time through captain Christian Romero's very slow overhead kick. Let's speak to Newcastle fan Jamie Smith from Newcastle Fanzine The Mag and Tottenham fan Chris Cowlin. Morning both.
Morning.
Jamie, I'll start with you. Disappointed not to get the 3 points in the end, I imagine. Newcastle were better for most of the game, I think.
Yeah, we were definitely the better team overall, but we just absolutely threw it away at the end there. I think seeing that goal back, it's an absolutely disgraceful goal to concede, to let the ball bounce in the box. And yet again, we've let it go late on. I saw the statistic that we've dropped 11 points from winning position so far this season. And if we'd held on to all that, we'd be top of the league.
Yeah, and the goal itself, I mean, he shinned it. And I said earlier on, it's like watching it back in slow motion. It goes in so slowly, you can't quite work out why no one's done anything.
Yeah, it kind of goes between the two defenders, and then Ramsdale reacts horribly late. So, we've been wanting Ramsdale to get a chance in goal, and now Nick Pope's injured, he's got it. And everyone coming out of that ground last night, I think, was saying Nick Pope would probably have saved that. So, it's, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
And the penalty, I mean, I'll go to Chris on this as well. The VAR intervened. I don't know. I don't know what you thought of it.
He's kind of rugby tackling him, but it's just whether the ball's in play. And you see this sort of melee at just about every corner, don't you? Every free kick into the box. That's
the thing. I mean, I agree. Yeah, they are. They're sort of hugging each other, but like that is constant at corners.
Yeah, and it's given, and I think we were probably good value for the lead at that point. But yeah, probably feeling quite fortunate for that one. I don't think Tottenham would have attacked enough to get a second if that penalty hadn't gone in. So to an extent, it's a moot point, I think.
Chris, thoughts on the game overall?
Very pleased as a Tottenham fan to get a draw, because this would have been our 6th defeat in 8 games, and Thomas Frank's under pressure at the moment, especially amongst the fan base. So, a much needed point for Tottenham. Newcastle was not an easy place to go, and Spurs did lack real attacking intent again in the first half, and that's now no shots on target in the first half again. Last time we had a shot on target in the first half was the 1st of November, which is not good enough, but Romero stepped up as captain. I do worry about our attacking intent under Thomas Frank, but you've got to take the positives out of this game. We've got a huge game now coming up on Saturday against Brentford, but when you talk about that penalty, if that is a penalty, I tell you the game's gone, because you'd be giving 2, 3, 4 or even more of those per game. So there's just no consistency with VAR or refereeing these days.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing. It's just about consistency. If you are going to give those, then players are going to have to change the way that they defend at corners, or we're just going to see an absolute ton of penalties, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, as we say, it's the consistency thing, I think, that bothers people, isn't it? If you take that as an isolated incident, it did have a hold of Dan Burn, but I was at the game, so I didn't see what kind of conversation was going on. I couldn't really understand what the ref was saying. But yeah, something different next week, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. And Chris, how are you feeling ahead of that game against Brentford? Thomas Frank going back to Brentford?
Well, we haven't won a home game in the Premier League for 3.5 months since the opening day of the campaign. So there's been a lot of frustration and a lot of booing from the home fans recently under Thomas Frank. So it is a huge game. Of course, Thomas Frank's old club, Brentford, come to the Tottenham Stadium. So I'm really hoping for a win to get this fan base, up and running again, because there's been a lot of negativity. So, we need to start climbing up the league table, and hopefully we can see some more entertaining football and see a first half shot at least.
Oh, you'd love that. Nice speaking to you both. Cheers, fellas.
Thank you.
Newcastle fan Jamie Smith from Newcastle Fanzine The Mag, and Tottenham fan Chris Cowlin. Lots more reaction on the 5 Live Football Daily podcast